So I have some more censorship of the left that nobody's going to talk about. We're one of very, very few outlets that ever really brings this up. This is from Rania Kalik. She said, I interviewed Anya Parampil about the socialist victory in Bolivia on Instagram Live. When I tried to post it to Instagram after, I received a message that it's restricted to, quote, protect our community. Protect them from what, Instagram? That's incredible. So that's just outright censorship because they're talking about Bolivia and they're doing it from the perspective of, you know, Evo Morales and his party got a raw deal. There was originally a coup, and now they came back and won overwhelmingly. And so it's not really the line that the U.S. government likes to hear. And so it was censored because they want to protect our community from what? From conversation about socialists winning, democracy. It really is something. They've gone further now than I've ever seen them go before. Then we also have this. This came out at about the same time. This is friend of the show, Bhaskar Sankara. He's a great guy of Jacobin. He says the following. Facebook is now blocking our videos for violating, quote, community standards that trigger certain keywords. Was it the Marxist, Bolivia, or Biden? So, in other words, somehow they're violating community standards, and it's either because they use the word Marxist or Bolivia or Biden. My guess is it's either Marxist or Bolivia. And it says, your video is blocked and can't be viewed by others. Guys, this is an established left show. This is an established left show. And this is what's happening. Now, you might say, well, come on, Kyle, these might be isolated cases. Maybe it was a mistake or whatever. They've also done this to Abby Martin. They've done it to her a number of times, I believe. They've also done it to Max Blumenthal, Ben Norton, and The Gray Zone. The Gray Zone is their project. They've done it to them as well. You know, you guys know we've talked about it endlessly on this show, but the algorithm is not very kind to what's called borderline content like me. In other words, he's uncontrollable. You know, he's a wild loudmouth. We don't know what he's going to say about politics. They don't want me running alongside CNN, Fox News, MSNBC. They deprioritize shows like mine in the algorithm so we don't really spread to many new people. If you watch the show on a regular basis, you might get some recommendeds and stuff like that. But if you're not already watching it, it's harder for our show to grow because they don't recommend us to new people. They used to do it all the time. You know, we were gaining, I'm not kidding when I say 30,000 or 40,000 subscribers a month in the last election. And now we gain like 6,000 subscribers a month. I'm the same guy doing the same show, and it's just that now the rules are not favorable, and they kind of hold us back a little bit. But a lot of this stuff goes on, man. And then, you know, we have the famous Reddit example where they banned Reddit the Donald, but then they also turned around and banned the Chapo Trap House Reddit. Why? Because this is how it works. This is the way censorship works. You start with the people who are, in some instances, genuinely bad. Somebody like Alex Jones, how terrible he is. And you don't get that many people that object to it because they're like, I kind of get it. I mean, that guy's insane, and he says insane things, and he puts people at risk and all this stuff. You start there, and then what just happened was, without you realizing it, you've established the precedent. What's the precedent? The precedent is the heads of these social media companies, unaccountable billionaires, they get to determine who can say stuff and who can't. Why should they ever get veto power over stuff we could say? That's like giving veto power to politicians as to what can and can't be said. Why would you do that? We're supposed to have free speech. We're supposed to abide by the principle of free speech. And corporate censorship is just as bad as government censorship because the new public square is all these social media outlets. So you start with somebody that it's like, okay, I get it, he's a bad dude, but then you're already going down that slippery slope at 1,000 miles an hour, and next thing you know, the Chapo Trap House Reddit is banned. Next thing you know, Jacobin is banned. Next thing you know, they make it harder to find my videos. Because when you are for censorship, you're saying the powerful should choose what isn't acceptable, and guess what? The powerful are never going to like the left, because inherent in being a lefty is questioning power structures. So here we are. I warned you every step of the way that if you were cheering on any sort of censorship or deplatforming, it immediately was going to come for you. Immediately. Because you might say, oh my God, the white supremacists and the fascists and the this and the that, and that's who we got to take down. But how can you not realize that they instantly flip it on Antifa and Marxists and anti-war voices, and the list goes on and on? Because you think your political positions are like, duh, obviously I'm right. There's a lot of people who don't agree with you. And guess what? The people in control, the people who run these social media companies, certainly don't agree with you. So you just gave more power to your enemies to silence you. Congratulations.